My name is Shannon Webb-Campbell, and I'm reading from my poetry book, I Am a Body of Land. After the upheaval, I've landed here, my voice damp with shame. My insides burn. I wait for someone to ask me to leave. I'm a translation of a translation. Somewhere on the chopping block of cutting and absence I cower. I trace tree lines. I am looking for a root, a stem to grow a sense of who I am, metabolize where I come from, and process who I belong to. I am afraid of all that came before. I want to embrace my ancestors. Voices of father, my aching mother, my grandfather who cried out from the orphanage, deafens me to my grandmother's. I cannot find my way back to the circle. I'm spinning out a feral tether, a loose end. A sphere within our sphere. Try different entry points. Avert your suffering eyes and intersect with love. The body of this book is traumatized. The body is a wound. We collapse on trauma's floor. We stand in the spine of what comes after. I feed myself poems. I stop puking up 5,000 years long enough to swallow them. I bathe in fresh water to cleanse my body and spit all this out. I wake from lazy nightmares with your hands on my face. I cry in muffles for the healer with your fingers in my mouth. I try to sing lullabies, but the language does not come. I say a prayer to become the dream if you will be the catcher. We used to share a table. See how low the moon hangs. When stars touch cliffs, land moves closer to sky to meet earth's breath. Return to where water outweighs land. Between feral bog and the ocean's expanse, find remedy to temper your heart's fury. Big skies heave shades of gray, winds howl their own voice. Love needs truth and witness, no hesitations, always a spare room to gather lifetimes and generations. I only have one photo left of Mary, for Mary Webb. No taller than wildflowers, with hands tucked into a soiled apron, her hair covered. She looks into a lens with eyes that know what plants are medicines and which roots hold poisons. In still life photograph, Mary grew gardens, picked berries. She distilled the moonshine, pickled harvest, and kept meat. Taught her youngsters to skin rabbits, make liquor blind. Never drink the old stuff, she said. Whenever I drink or my moon bleeds, I think of Mary, who traveled to women's wombs by dog team, horses, sometimes even snowshoes. Don't matter how many days it took or what storm railed down home. She took medicines with her, bleached bloody bodies. Mary always got there in time for the baby. Grandmother went to the hospital sick in 78, kept praying for young ones to grow old, help them help those who carry on when she goes. Mary died 5 years and 4 days before I got born. Yet something inside me calls for her. Their worldview is a new home in an ancient land. If you think you can hold dominion over flora and fauna, that a body and life can be property, you'd better try buying a constellation. I'm not landless nor law. In sorrow's aftermath, remind me I am a body of land unlearning what cannot be expressed. Dig to find a physical knowing, ceremony. Our cells remind us we are living in the intersection of trauma and desire, a disordered state. How can we imagine ourselves not broken? Set vowels and variables, open to 7 generations before and after. You fear retribution. You know trauma lives. You unearth, you retell, you harness, you unflinch power. Your throat carries bodies. You call on the sky. You sing the ancestors forward. You are not divided from your body. You are not separate from earth. You know the land will outlast us all. Newfoundland is where the colonization of North America began, and the colonial agenda still prevails. Yet long before John Cabot arrived in 1497 and claimed the land on behalf of England, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, Inuit, and Beothuk were the traditional custodians of Newfoundland and Labrador's lands and waters. Despite this history, or perhaps because of it, the indigenous people of Newfoundland and Labrador have long been dismissed and shamed into silence. When the province joined Confederation in 1949, the government, under Premier Joey Smallwood's guidance, inaccurately declared that there were no Indians on the island of Newfoundland. Smallwood's dismissal prevented the formal and legal recognition of Newfoundland's indigenous people for decades. On receiving a government letter rejecting our Indian status, Father calls, says they are revoking us. His voice gravel thick. A dead weight of shame returns. Thousands of papers board a plane, soar through the sky to land like scalps on doorsteps of who would be Halapu. My ancestors are on trial. We no longer live in Ngoma village. Mark Smallwood's infamous words, there are no Indians on the island of Gadamkuk. Denial repeats to eradicate Mi'kmaq existence. One too many anglicized names spin webs of displaced identity. Goddamn jacketars. Government commands colonial amnesia. You do beadwork in the suburbs, Google Mi'kmaq translations, only learn to bang your drum far from home. Ottawa notes I'm not indigenous enough, still landless, no claim, no bones to hone. Father says it was good for a while, but what about the next 7 generations? I tell him Alnu Nabiteg, I am Migma Forever. Letter to Joseph R. Smallwood after Marilyn Dumont's letter to Sir John A. Macdonald. Dear Joey, I'm still here in mixed Mi'kmaq after all these years. You're long dead, yet Confederation couldn't stop Newfoundland's ongoing colonial violence. You continued so unapologetically, telling Ottawa there are no Red Indians. Nancy, April, we killed them all. And you know, Joey, after all your declarations, bowing to the settlers, we're still here. We remain Mi'kmaq despite stolen status cards. None of us landless, all of us Caribou. Elegy revised. I'm an edge walker. I am a frozen seabird dumped on a beach. I am a beach walker who came upon a heap of bloodied turs. I am a muir who's graceless on land but swims like a fish. I plunge 600 feet into the water before I am shot down mid-flight. I'm the only hunter allowed to kill seabirds around here. I'm an interpretive site where the Beothuk used to roam. I live on a res where the only way in is the only way out. I am a verdict. I'm a tattler who speaks to newspapers. I'm a country that questions the nature of abuse. I'm a failed legal system. I'm a medicine woman who lost her medicines. I'm a stolen prayer. I am a blurred vision. I am turning a blind eye. I'm jealousy's root system. I'm dishonoring my father's sobriety. I'm an empty bottle under the sink. I am swallowing all the tears that now live in my body. I am a woman unprotected like our waterways. I am a teenage girl just starting puberty. I am not someone who wants you to forget any of this. I am a boreal river where we can no longer swim. You told me you were a hunter, spelled out your strategy. You choose prey from afar, observe, never approach from behind. You make sufferers weak, circle and lure, until you're invited in. This is how you capture. You devour women's bodies, leave spirit remains for lesser animals, mark skins with your scent, go back into the woods skulking for others. I watch closely, examine how you pull back, control every muscle, hardly exhale before you approach slowly. I catch you off guard, come up from behind, tackle body to earth, nip at ears, make you howl, salvaging all hides skinned before mine. I was only young when father left the moon, left sky, so the stars guided me home. I started drinking, carte blanche on the liquor cabinet. I wet the bed. The shame stays with me. When my voice stopped working, my hands took over. If love is our last hope, the medicine wheel is our compass. Look north to catch midnight, find death in winter. Look east for dawn, find light in spring. Look south at birth, find rebirth in summer. Look west at dusk, find wisdom in fall. Each direction a spirit helper, an element, a sacred medicine. A circle embodies the passage of sun and 4 seasons. I am of the dawn here at the edge, knowing first light. You no longer shades of day. Look to animal stars, find sweet grass. Look for mineral sun, find tobacco. Look at plant moon, find cedar. Look to human earth, find sage. Our lives move in circles. We are sunwise. The silent generation. I want to be your powwow grounds, all that is worth protecting. Pay attention, I'm your radiant gathering. Know the rhythm of your heart, trust wherever spirit wants to go. Fill minds with voices of ancestors, sing broken prayers for sunless skies. If anyone has arrived or mastered grace, pardon death and receive your rewards. My lament for a universal kingdom. Give rest to graciousness, make love real. Set yourself free. Hide in the folds. Stretch your hand over the sea.